Had an error that GPT-3 couldn't solve, so we'll be trying to solve that error with a code interpreter, or whatever they call it now, advanced data analysis, whatever. Problem is, yeah, even if you pay, it's still capped at 50 messages every 3 hours at the moment. I think it can handle zip files, upload it to the site. Hopefully that will be only one prompt. I doubt it, because that will be quite a lot. So we're using Flask, NumPy, SciPy, and that's working okay generally. Let's run it. So we have it running on this local port 5000. Sometimes need to click on it twice. And it's generating this EEG fake, synthetic, never say fake, signal. And that's its frequency bands. I think those are incorrect at the moment. So there's a GET request being sent successfully. That's working okay. Now problem is when you change, so you want to change the window size to 5 seconds instead of 10. You send that request and you get the following error. So it's a 500 error. It says internal server error. Keep do we need some sort of error log file? Let's create an error log text file. So we have that working correctly. Obviously then we have the HTTP. So let's zip and we pop it into GPT-4. Please see error file log text. This is what I get when trying to change values in the EEG generator application. The application is loading okay the first time around, but when changing values I get errors. Let's pop this in, see what we get. Let's unzipping the files. So it's extracted the error, the update parameters one. Okay. It's as if it's milking prompts out of you because of the 50, what was it, 50 per 3 hours. I just realized that the 3-hour window should be like a moving window, so it essentially should be like a rate. So you shouldn't be doing more than 50, was it 50 prompts per 3 hours? Yeah, if that's a moving window, then we should be fine, but just not bombarding it with too many prompts. I don't know why it keeps asking you for like obvious stuff. It's still working okay. It just takes forever to download, unzip, copy. Instead of downloading, just generate the code on screen as text. Let's see if it actually listens. The same thing as I had prior.
Would you like me to modify the code to add these checks and log additional information, or would you prefer to do this yourself?
But you haven't actually changed anything, have you? This looks promising because it's different from what the GPT 3.5 used to say. It didn't say that there's a problem with the HTML file. Can you just display the code on screen as text? This looks the same as what we had. Where's the name was added? Right. And this one doesn't have names? No, it doesn't. Okay, it looks promising. HTML. To reload this. What Where's the button gone? You just remove the button. Or did I remove the button? It's the submit button. Got the button. How about this? Should say apologies.
Yes, adding a submit button to the form is essential to initiate the form submission process. You can add the submit button at the end of your form like so. When this button is clicked, it will trigger the form submission event, which in turn triggers the event listener in your charts.js file to send the post request to the update_parameters endpoint. If you don't already have a submit button in your form, you should add one to allow users to submit the
I did have it before you told me to change the code. Can display the code for index HTML. The whole code for index HTML on screen as text. Should be simple. What?
Displaying the entire content of the file here might be too extensive and possibly exceed the maximum message length. However, I can certainly display the modified sections of the HTML file, like the form section, in a series of messages. Would you like to proceed with this, or would you prefer to download the entire file to view it locally?
Yeah, just do whatever. I'll take a break after this as well, so I can swear GPT is changing. Yeah, last time I tried it was behaving slightly differently. It's generating the whole thing, so what's the problem? Saying let's proceed with this and seem to have stopped generating. Normally there's like a continue button that was removed or something. Should, yeah, that's the button. Okay, it wasn't that hard, was it? So three parts. Just copy, generate a copy of this. Right, this one, that one, 0.7. And that's the last one. There's now no data. Why? Still get an error. Let's restart just to make sure. Right, there's the data. Still get the same error. So no, GPT-4 was not able to help. Something about non-valid JSON. Just check that the HTML, that's the new one. Yep, it looks like the new one. That's the one. Hey, we're having trouble with. Let's give it another try. Last try. It's working okay to begin with. Say you want to increase theta from 1 to 1.5, update parameters, see what it says, probably nothing. See how long.
The error message you posted indicates a new issue in the Python code where the EG data is being generated. It seems like there is a type mismatch during a multiplication operation inside the generate_syntatic_eg_dat function. The error is occurring because one of the operands is a string, indicated by dtype, less than U3, and the other is a float, which is not allowed in multiplication operations. The issue seems to be that the amplitude values are being received as strings instead of floats. This could be because the values from the form are always sent as strings, and we need to convert them to floats before using them in mathematical operations. In the update_parameters function, before calling the generate_syntatic_eg_dat function, you can convert the amplitude values to floats like this. You should do the same for the bandwidth values as well if they are involved in any mathematical operations. Would you like me to modify the app.py file to include these changes? The app.py file was successfully located and its contents have been partially retrieved. Here are the first few lines.
It's a new problem, but it seemed to be there.
I will now proceed to modify the update_parameters function to convert the amplitude and bandwidth values to floats before using them in mathematical operations. Let's proceed with this.
They have floats. They have decimal point.
The app.py file has been modified to convert the amplitude and bandwidth values to floats before using them in mathematical operations. Here's the relevant section of the modified code.
So it removed the check.
The modification ensures that the amplitude and bandwidth values are converted to floats before being used in the generation of syntactic data. This should prevent the type mismatch error that was occurring before. Would you like to download the modified files now?
That's all the way from here up to update parameters, custom chirp. That's again also making sure that it's zeros instead of nans. So we already tried addressing that problem before. Let's see what was changed. Yeah, this float. Okay, just trying to make sure I'm copying the right stuff. Right now I'm getting 500. Okay, so the error is gone. However, I need to rearrange it so we can see it on screen. So say if theta is 10 instead of 1, the error is gone, but the chart is not updating when update EG button was pressed.
It seems that the issue is now with the updating of the chart when the update parameters button is pressed. This could possibly be due to an issue with the JavaScript code responsible for updating the chart. I would recommend checking the following points in the charts.js file. Ensure that the AJAX request to the update_parameters endpoint is being made correctly and that the response is being received without errors. Verify that the chart data is being updated correctly with the new data received from the AJAX request. Make sure that the chart is being redrawn after the data update to reflect the new data on the chart. Would you like me to check the charts.js file to see if there is any issue with the code that could be causing this problem? The charts.js file was successfully located and its contents have been partially retrieved. Here are the first few lines of the charts.js file.
It's like doing the same thing again.
The update charts function seems to be properly structured to update the charts with new data. It takes a data object as input and uses the plotly.js library to plot the EG signal and spectrum charts with the new data. To pinpoint the issue, we also need to check the part of the code responsible for making the AJAX request to the update_parameters endpoint and calling the update charts function with the response data. Would you like me to continue checking the remaining part of the charts.js file to identify the issue? Here's the continuation of the charts.js file.
Okay, got
This part of the script
run
defines
out
a
of
function
time.
calculate power, which seems to be a placeholder function returning random values for the power in different frequency bands. You might want to replace this with actual power calculation logic at some point. Next, it defines an event listener for the form submission, which prevents the default form submission behavior, retrieves the form data, and constructs an object with the updated parameters. Before making any assumptions, let's view the remaining part of this file to completely understand the AJAX request logic and see if there's any issue there. Shall I proceed?
So there's some template calculate power.
Here's the remaining part of the charts.js file. In this part, the script constructs an object with the updated parameters and makes an AJAX request to the update_parameters endpoint with a post method. Once the response is received, it is supposed to handle the response data in the then data equals greater than block. However, it seems that the update charts function is not being called within the then data equals greater than block to update the charts with the new data. You can modify this block to call update charts function with the new data like this. This modification should ensure that the charts are updated with the new data received from the server when the update parameters button is pressed. Would you like me to make this modification for you?
Yes, please.
The charts.js file has been successfully modified to call the update charts function with the new data in the response handler. This should allow the charts to update correctly when the update parameters button is pressed. Here is a snippet of the modified content, first 1000 characters. Now, I will prepare the modified files for download. Let's proceed with this.
It's weird when it says, let's proceed with this. What am I supposed to, am I waiting or, no, it stopped generating. That's okay. So in JavaScript, okay, I had this function already, so what's the problem? Seem to be the same. Generate updated code on screen as text. Keeps wanting
Certainly.
to.
Here are the modified sections of the app.py and charts.js files. In the update_parameters function, the amplitude and bandwidth values are converted to floats. In the event listener for form submission, the update charts function is called with the new data in the response handler.
Okay, I think we got that. That's what stopped the error from displaying.
These modifications should resolve the issues with the application. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like to do.
Get element by ID. Have the same fetch update parameters method post. It's the same. Right. Don't have that line. Why do I have a feeling I had it there before and then the bot removed it? Well, it's easy to blame the bot. This looks odd. Why is it refreshing? No, I don't know. Right. It's working. This should have been much higher, like 10 times. Okay, so we got something working, that's good. The theta should be at 100. Yeah, this plot is showing something wrong. And my control F when you reload it to begin. That's a bit weird. You would expect it to update parameters when you reload the page. You didn't. Yeah, and obviously this just displays random things. Well, that's because we have that placeholder. So no, yeah. So GPT-4 was able to fix an error, fix the chart actually updating. Don't actually wanna the bandwidth. It's not actually being taken into account, is it? It's not changing anything. That's okay. We want the chart to update just when you change the values. We also want them to be vertical and horizontal sliders, these bits, and probably place them somewhere else. But yeah, it's working okay now. So GPT-4 code interpreter, whatever it's called now, was able to help us fix some issues so we can continue making progress. Zero work, just have to check. Yeah, it does. Yeah, we have to fix this. It's just some random stuff. Where is this? Let's trace this for a sec. EG spectrum chart. That's the ID of that item. This is where it's being plotted with power data. This power data is just fake. No, wait. Calculate power. Calculate power. Yeah, random. That's a placeholder value. So we have to change this. I'll be doing that next. So the power spectrum actually displays useful stuff. I'll see you in a bit.